Hey, welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? I don't know. But when I paused, did you start singing it? Has it caught on yet? Is it that catchy little earworm that you just can't get out of your head for the rest of the day? Sorry. Not sorry. Right, today's look, just to be different, is to quote Rich Lux, copper and a nude lip. Who does that sound like? Much less drama on this channel. But if you like this look and wanted to see just how I achieved it with this palette, trying to get it so you can actually see that, there we go, the Zodiac palette from BH Cosmetics. So, if you want to see how I achieved this look, you, my friend, are in just the right place. Because here it comes. That was my fridge defrosting. Great timing, fridge. Thanks. Comes the tutorial. Hey, welcome back from the intro. As you can see, base is on. Gone for a very full coverage foundation this time. And I'm going to use the Zodiac palette today from BH, which looks like this, if I can get it. This is the only problem with reflective packaging, trying to be able, there we go, you can just about see that. And there's also a whack and great mirror on this side, which I'm not going to use. I have got my colour switch at the ready, as always, and I am going to start off with my usual Spectrum B06 brush. Let's get you zoomed in. It's quite an overcast, rainy day, so I'm expecting my white balance to go up and down, so apologies for that in advance. Okay. Right. When I look straight ahead, you can see all of my mobile eyelid. If when you look ahead you don't see that, you either have a full or a half hooded lid. If this is the case, you can still follow my tutorial. Because I've got deep set eyes, I'm lucky I can just follow the shape of my eyeball to create my crease. For you to create yours, what you need to do is get a smaller brush, something like this. Pick up your crease colour, looking straight ahead with your eyes open. Just gently sketch out where you're going to need your crease to be. Now, obviously, this is going to reduce the amount of space you've got between crease and brow. Again, because of deep set eyes, I've got a lot of space. I'm very lucky. If you're finding you don't have much space here, try raising your eyebrows when you're applying your makeup. And if that still doesn't give you quite enough space, start off with a slightly smaller brush than this. You can see there's a lot of bristles there, but it's very loosely packed. Okay. Now, I have not got a primer on my lids, I don't use those. I've just carried my foundation across and set it with Coty Airspun. And I do normally say, if there is a shade in the palette which is the same shade or a shade or two lighter than your skin tone, just buff that over the lids as well, because shadows I find tend to work best on shadows from the same formula, so from the same palette. This one does not have a colour like that, so I'm just going to go straight on top of my Coty Airspun. There are so many purples on here, I am so drawn to them, but I always do purple. So I'm going to force myself to use some different colours. So I'm going to start off with Aquarius Matte, which is like a fawny colour. So quite neutral to start off with. So I'm going to windscreen wiper it first, just to lay the colour down. And then pick up a little bit more powder or colour, tap off the brush, and very gently blend one way, lift the brush up, reverse the direction of the twirly whirlies, and go back again. And the reason that I twirl my brush like this is because, one, I'm 44, so my skin on my eyelids moves, and two, I've lost a lot of weight over the years, so the skin on my eyelids moves. I normally take this colour up to about 4 or 5 mils below the lowest part of my brow, so about there. And I'm just going to add that little bit extra colour because I want to take the colour right up. Because although I'm doing a more neutral shade, doesn't mean I can't have fun with it. I've noticed in the last sort of few months I've started to get vertical lines coming down through my eyebrow this side, well, and both sides actually, on the outside edge is what I was trying to say. So that does sometimes mean I have to spend a little bit longer blending just here, but that's my skin, not the formula. If it's the formula, I'll tell you. But you can see that blends out really nicely. How's your day been so far? I hope it's been a good one. I hope if you're in somewhere that's blisteringly hot and you're not enjoying it, that it's cooled down. Or if you're somewhere that's blisteringly hot and you are enjoying it, I hope it's still warm for you. Cover your bases, Ange. As you can see, I'm now going to go in and do this side exactly the same. I don't speed my tutorials up because it used to wind me up something chronic when I was first getting into makeup and watching tutorials. I wanted to be able to follow along with the makeup artist or the beauty guru or whatever you want to call them, that was doing the look, but they'd sort of cut half the blending out, so I'd have to keep pausing, and then my screen lock would come on, and I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. They go, right, I'm going to do the other eye off camera, and you're like, wait, what? So I've now got to reverse this film back to the start and do it in mirror image on the other eye. Yeah, thanks for that. Well, they cut whole steps out. I'm just like, really? Really? I mean, I used to do my eyebrows and everything on camera. I've now got a little mini eyebrow tutorial to show you how to work out your perfect eyebrow shape. So to save time, I don't do my eyebrows on camera because I know I've got a little mini tutorial for you. I do my winged eyeliner off camera because I tend to look down into my mirror and then you can't see what I'm doing anyway. But I have a separate winged tutorial liner. Tutorial, good lord. Oh, I'm having one of those days, folks. Oh, and all of a sudden, this often happens when it rains, that we're getting an awful smell wafting up through the drainage in the sink. Great. It probably means that the river's come up. I've got a river about, I think most of you are in. I've got about 150 foot of garden and then 200 foot of allotment, a railway line, a river and a wood. So it's not close enough that I'm going to get flooded, but it is close enough that if the water comes up, we do find that our drains here have a rather unique ambience. Right, I'm just taking all the colour off of my brush now, and I'm going to go into Capricorn Matte, which is actually a really nice khaki, or olive, or somewhere between the two. And initially I'm going to do exactly the same thing with my windscreen wipering, but when it comes to twirling it, I'm not taking it as high up the eye. Whereas before it went across in one direction, lifted it up and then came back in the other direction, I'm literally just this time going to do one level. So I'm still reversing the direction of the brush so that the eyelid gets moved all which ways, so you don't get any gaps. But I'm not actually taking it up the eye, it's literally just above that crease, or wherever your crease needed to be. Oh, that really is a vile smell. And we've got the drains, the sink plug in, because I know what it's like round here when it rains. Oh, thank goodness I've got a nice perfume on, that's all I'm going to say. Oh, I like that, that's quite nice. And again, I'm going to go in with exactly the same thing this side. I mean, you can see how easily these blend out, they're taking no time at all, which is great because last two nights, last night I got 57 minutes sleep, and the night before that I got 1 hour 26 minutes sleep. So I'm really not in the mood to sit here and blend for hours. I think I've taken this side a little bit too high. No, I didn't. Way! Do you ever have one of those moments when you think, I'm so busy chatting, I'm not sure I'm actually paying attention to what I'm doing? Yeah, I get that a lot on here. Right, and take all the colour off the brush and just gently buff over where those two colours meet, just to really blend them together. So there's a nice sort of seamless transition between the colours. I don't want there to be any harsh lines today, I'm not doing a cut crease or anything. Just want a nice soft transition between those colours there. That's nice. Now actually I'm just using the side of the brush here rather than the top. I'm holding it right at the end, so I'm putting as little pressure on my eye as possible. And it is just, it's blending really nicely. Bizarrely, it looks patchy in my viewfinder, but in my mirror it doesn't. I'm going to trust my mirror. So let's take all the colour off of that one. And then I'm going to go in with my Crease Love and Happiness brush from the Balm, which has got a flat but chunky packer style brush at one end, and again a loosely packed brush this end, but you can see it's a lot more tapered than the brush we've just used. And I'm going to go in with let's be brave. I'm going to go in with Taurus Matte, which is actually my star sign, folks. And it's a nice deep purple. You know I couldn't stay away from the purples for long, didn't you? It's really annoying though, because purple is my favourite colour, and it is one of the most difficult shades to create when it comes to eyeshadows. I've been let down so many times by so many palettes, but this one's lovely. Right, now this time I'm gently buffing the corner just to blend that out. And when I'm blending the crease this time, let's just, didn't tap my brush off very well that time, did I? I'm not going to take it up at all. I'm going to blend absolutely on the crease line. This is why I'm using a slightly more tapered brush this time, because I don't want it to go up the eye at all. I still want there to be three very distinct shades on my eye. Okay. It's really weird. This looks so patchy on my camera, and yet when I look at it in real life, it really isn't. How strange. I'm just going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe just give it a little bit more blending, just in case. In case I have any high definition cameras pointed at me when I'm wandering around getting something later. I know we need to put to the supermarket, I can't remember what for. List is on the fridge. Fibro fog, eh? Any of you lot got fibro and have that horrible moment when you suddenly think, what was I talking about? Where am I going? Who am I? Well, I haven't quite got to the who am I stage yet, thankfully. But I do get halfway through a conversation and completely forget what point it was I was going to make. So, as you can see, I'm doing the same thing on this side. Now, this side being the one that I'm blind in, got pulled around an awful lot as a kid at the ophthalmic. So, mine is super, super creasy just here, so I do have to pull mine out slightly just to get into that corner without creasing. Do not pull your eye around like I have just done unless it already is like that, and don't pull it hard, don't pull it out for long. That sounds disgusting. It's just my mind. And yours too if you're giggling now. So, just blending this purple out again, keeping it tight on that crease line, not taking it up the eye at all. I quite like that look. Let's just dust any fallout away. As you can see, minimal fallout, usually when I've not tapped off properly, to be quite honest. Let's be fair on that point. Right, I'm going to go into the other end, the Packer Star brush end, and I want to carry some colour underneath, but shall I go a different colour to what I've got? Because the last couple of films I've done were smoky eyes, so I sort of continued the colour from the top underneath. But I think I'm going to go a little bit different if my voice would actually stay with me for the duration of the film. That would be lovely. I'm going to go into Sagittarius Matte, which is a really lovely warm, what I would call Bambi's mummy brown, if you know what I mean by that. And tapping off well, I'm just going to gently smudge this right tight up underneath those lower lashes there, going about 2/3 of the way along the eye. And do the same again this side. It's ridiculous, I've had hay fever so long this year. It started early with the tree pollen because we had such a mild spring, and I've still got it now because now it's started to rain. It's knocking even more tree pollen out. So I had tree pollen at the start, grass and flowers in the middle, and now tree pollen again at the end. Some years I hardly get affected by my hay fever at all. Other years it's like, yeah, here, have some of this. Right, I'm going to go back into the original shade that I used, the Aquarius, the light fawny sort of colour, to just do the front end of the eye there and just gently blend it into Sagittarius. I wanted to call it Bambi's mum, and I'm like, no, it has an actual name, and come on, be fair to the palette. And do the same this side. Oh, and you can see these eye looks are so quick to do. They don't take a great deal of time. The hardest thing is choosing the colours you want to use, to be quite honest, when you've got this much choice. And then I'm going to use the other end. Good Lord, voice, really? Let's try having a drink, see if that'll work. Right. And I'm going to go in to into one of the shimmer shades, but I'm going to use it on this sort of brush. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit of Aquarius shimmer on the very, very tips of the brush there, see? And I'm just going to gently buff that along that lower lash line, just to softly smudge the first two shades that we put down. I know what you're thinking, you don't use shimmers like that. I use shimmers however I like. The only thing to remember is if you're going to use the shimmer in the place of a matte, it will take a little bit longer to blend out and expect more fallout. But a lot of how a shimmer appears depends on the brush you use. Right. Now, I am going to get my Spectrum A16 brush, which is a very small packer brush, like this, very fine one. And I'm going to go into Scorpio. And these are baked shadows, so I'm going to try it initially without wetting the brush, just to see what sort of payout or payoff we get when I don't apply the shadow wet, because if I get enough colour payback from it, then I won't bother wetting the brush. I'm liking this. And now I'm going to go into a wider packer brush. This is a So Eco brush, but unfortunately the name of it has worn off, so I can't tell you which one it is. And I'm just going to use that to fill in the bulk of the lid, because I'll be here all day if I use the Spectrum one. But I did need to use that just to get into the inner corner. This is such a lovely coppery colour. I think it's the first time I've used this one actually. I don't remember using this one before. I'm sure I would have remembered. It is such a glorious colour. Like burnished copper. Don't worry, I'm not going to go all copper eye and a nude lip on you. You will still get much variety on my channel. Because, to be quite honest, if I did the same colours every single time, I would get so bored. The whole point of makeup for me is that it's artistry, it's fun, it's a way for me to, you know, look different every single day depending on how I apply colours to my face. It's awesome. I'm just going to gently pat that into place on the lid there. Oh, this is such a pretty colour. I just got so distracted by all the aquas and the purples and the blues and the duochromy ones they've got in here that I just hadn't got round to this one yet, which is criminal, and I apologise to it completely and unreservedly for making it wait so long to be used. Yes, I talk to my shadows. No, they don't reply. Right, get rid of the fallout. I am going to go off camera. I don't think I'm going to do liner today because my eyes are quite runny, so I don't want to end up looking like Alice Cooper from the Schools Out video. I'm just going to bung some highlighter on the inner corner, under the brow, nose, top lip, cheeks, etc. And a bit of mascara, a bit of lippy, and I'll be straight back. Hey, I'm back. I used Jeffrey's Sarcophagus for the majority of my highlight. In a corner, I went for Jeffrey's Liberace from his 24 carat palette. Mascara was Rimmel Scandalised Reloaded Waterproof version, because, as I said, my eyes are particularly runny with the hay fever as it stands at the moment. And the lippy is LA Splash Classic Horror The Mummy, which I love, and it smells like cupcake frosting, which is awesome. So, there we go. There's a really quick but really effective copper eye and a nude lip. Now, who does that remind me of? Right, I hope you found this interesting or fun. If you did, it would be awesome if you could hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget to hit the bell, and when you hit the bell, be sure to choose all notifications so you don't miss another one of these videos. I'm talking about another one of these videos. If you enjoyed this one, why not have a wander through my page and see if there's any others you fancy watching? All that remains for me to say is you'll stay fabulous, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.